After the college entrance exam results came out, my childhood sweetheart suddenly decided to repeat a year with the campus belle. His friend teased him, "What about your untouchable first love back home? Weren't you two planning to enter Qing University together?" Only then did Bruno react belatedly. "Selena? Oh, it's fine. I'll just tell her. She'll definitely repeat the year with me. After all these years, she's never been able to leave my house anyway." I froze for a long time, then quietly walked away, pretending I knew nothing. That night, I opened the university application system and filled in the university I had dreamed of for years. He didn't know. He had the campus belle he wanted to chase, and I had the dream I wanted to pursue. The promise to attend Qing University together was never for him. Chapter 01. Bruno's words stunned me so thoroughly that even my breathing stopped. Getting into Qing University together was a promise we had made since high school. All those days and nights of working hard together, and we finally began to see the light. Yet he made the decision to repeat a year without even discussing it with me. Inside the private room, his friends' voices continued. "How do you know Selena will agree to repeat the year with you? She's so good. Qing University is basically guaranteed for her." Bruno let out a mocking laugh, as if hearing a joke. "Exactly, because her grades are good. Even if she repeats a year, she'll get in again. But if she doesn't go to college with me, how would that work?" At this point, he sounded a little helpless. A friend blinked, then burst into laughter. "Oh right, Selena's food, clothes, everything is paid by your family. If she leaves our young master Bruno, how would she even afford tuition?" Seriously, our young master really knows how to lock down his idealized girl, bringing her straight into his house so she can't escape even if she wants to. Bruno lifted his head from his game, scoffed, and said, "Ever since she moved into my house, her attitude toward me did a complete 180. If I tell her to repeat the year with me, would she even dare say no?" Another friend cut in. "Bruno, I think that's still a bit unfair. You should at least discuss it with her, right?" Bruno's fingers paused on the screen, his tone impatient. "What's there to discuss? I already promised Elise. I'll message Selena on WeChat later. If she finds out I'm repeating the year for Elise, who knows how she'll throw a fit. Besides, I didn't decide randomly. Elise failed the exam and is depressed. She just wants me to repeat the year with her." Hearing this, all his friends sighed knowingly. True, Elise isn't just the campus belle, she's gentle and sweet. Unlike Selena, who just buries herself in books wearing glasses every day, like a closed-off nerd. Compared to the campus belle, she really can't compete, and she's basically a total leech. Laughter erupted like waves. Outside the door, I felt like I had fallen into an ice cavern, cold to the bone. I wanted to burst in, grab Bruno by the collar, and demand an explanation, but my feet felt glued to the floor. I couldn't take a single step inside. In the end, I couldn't gather the courage. I could only leave quietly, walking home in a daze. Chapter 02. When I returned to my room, my tears finally fell without restraint. In my mind, Bruno's words replayed over and over. I still couldn't understand why he would give up Qing University, the school he had always longed for. We had worked so hard for so long, finally endured the grueling college entrance exam together. Even just a second before I walked into the restaurant, I was still happy about our results, imagining how the two of us could enter Qing University together and begin a wonderful college life. I never imagined that while I was doing everything in my power to fight for our future, he could so easily give it all up for someone else. Back in middle school, after my parents died in that rainy accident, he guarded my door for 3 days and 3 nights, afraid I would do something to myself. He told me his parents would be my parents from now on, and took me home. So now, what do those years of protection count as? Pity? Charity? The truth is, I never expected to follow him in everything, but in the years I stayed at his house, his uncle and aunt treated me very well, as if I were their real daughter. Yet in my heart, I always felt they were kind to me only because of Bruno. Living under someone else's roof, of course I had to put Bruno first in everything. But now, my scores were hidden, and this morning both Qing University and Peking University called. They were offering extremely generous admission packages. So this time, even without him, I must enter Qing University, just because he wants to repeat the year with the campus belle. He assumes I should too? I am not foolish enough to gamble my future away. Since he has someone he wants to stay behind for, I have my own sky to chase. Our paths have already diverged, so let each of us go our separate way. Chapter 03. After sorting out my thoughts, I felt much better. Everything will pass. Nothing is that big of a deal. I shouldn't waste my heart on people and things no longer worth it. Just as I was about to wash away my tear stains in the bathroom, Bruno suddenly called. My fingertip instinctively pressed accept. Selena, come out. I'm already at the door. Everyone's here. We're just waiting for you. It took me a moment to remember. Tonight Bruno was treating everyone to a celebration dinner for our exam success. I tidied myself casually and got into the car. While driving, Bruno glanced at me. Selena, why do you look so cold today? I smiled a little. I don't. To get into university smoothly, I could only pretend nothing had happened. At the restaurant, Bruno looked around and asked, Elise isn't here yet? His buddies teased. How could we invite the campus belle? You have to go yourself. Man. Everyone joked freely, not caring at all about me standing beside Bruno. Of course, in their eyes, I was the freeloader living in his house. Bruno's simp. The girl who depended on him. Even I had forgotten. I used to be the untouchable first love Bruno secretly adored for years. He made a call. I heard crying from the other end. Bruno frowned, hung up, and apologized to the group. Elise isn't feeling well. I'll go check on her. You guys eat first. Then everyone awkwardly exchanged looks and mechanically finished the meal. When I returned home, Bruno sent messages. Selena, are you asleep? Don't take tonight to heart. Next time I'll take you out alone. I looked at the phone but didn't reply, because I couldn't not take it to heart. Then more messages came. I've decided to repeat the year. Let's take the exam together next year and get into Qing. Elise is depressed now. If we leave her behind, she might do something stupid. Don't worry. With our grades it's just going to Qing 1 year later. But for her, it might be a matter of life and death. We can't abandon her. After that, the messages stopped. I still didn't reply. A ball of fire churned in my chest. He said so many things, all of them for Elise, her life and death. Why must it be my future that gets sacrificed? Chapter 04. Ever since Elise transferred to our school in the second year of high school, I can no longer remember how many times Bruno broke his own rules because of her. Maybe boys just prefer girls like her, pretty, bright, and outgoing. During the days when I kept my head down and studied in silence, Elise replaced me as the only girl in Bruno's little circle of friends. Her laughter was loud and carefree. She could always blend perfectly with the boys. Compared to the quiet me, Elise was indeed more likable. So during that period, I thought Bruno had fallen for Elise. I slowly distanced myself from them, giving them space. But every time I tried to pull away, Bruno would drag me back. He reassured me. Elise just knows how to play around with everyone. The guys like to joke with her. Why are you running off? Don't worry, I don't have feelings for her. You live in my house. Are you afraid I'll go back on that? I believed him and didn't think much more. After all, Elise really did have a personality like sunshine that drew people in. But attraction doesn't necessarily mean affection, right? Yet later, without me noticing, Bruno and Elise already shared many secrets I didn't know. It seemed that between the two of them, I was the outsider. And even now, he abandoned our long-held promise and chose to repeat the year with Elise. I was still the last one to be informed. My messy thoughts were suddenly interrupted by a WeChat notification. Selena, what's going on with you? You didn't reply all night. I quickly typed. I fell asleep last night, then glanced at the time. Today was the day our homeroom teacher told everyone to pick up our diplomas and graduation photos. When I arrived in the classroom, I saw Bruno and Elise already there. The seat beside Bruno, my old desk, was now taken by her. When I walked past them, Bruno awkwardly said, Selena, there's an empty seat in front. Why don't you sit there? I shook my head. No need. Then walked straight to the back and sat beside my best friend Lily. Seeing me ignore him, Bruno's expression turned cold. The students who received their graduation photos first gasped. Our class rep looks amazing, even in a school uniform with no makeup. She looks like the heroine of a youth novel. Hearing this, Bruno proudly snatched a photo from someone's hand. Soon after, a picture popped up on my phone along with his message. Look, the two of us look perfect together. It was a cropped photo of just the two of us from the class picture. The girl's eyes were clear yet tinged with sadness. The boy smiling softly, his head tilted ever so slightly toward her. A wave of emotions surged up, and I turned off my phone. I started chatting with Lily about school gossip instead. Just when we were laughing happily, a finger flicked the top of my head. You, come out for a second. It was Bruno. I walked out slowly. Bruno grabbed my shoulders and forced me to face him directly. Selena, what's wrong with you lately? I've messaged you so many times and you didn't reply. I shot back impatiently. Nothing. I'm great. You should spend your time caring about Elise instead. Our eyes clashed for a moment. Bruno finally lost his patience completely. Selena, how did I never notice you're this petty? I only went to take care of Elise that one night after the dinner. Do you really need to give me this much attitude? I kept my face cold and stopped looking at him. Bruno took a breath and softened his tone. Fine, last time was my fault. But don't take the repeating year thing too seriously. With your grades, if you take the exam again, you might even get top scores in the whole province. He still wanted to keep talking, when Elise suddenly popped out. Bruno, help me choose which tutoring class to pick. Bruno nodded, and before leaving, pinched my cheek like he always used to. Be good. Chapter 05. I let out a cold laugh inwardly. Bruno probably thought that I was still the same as before, that I would obey his decisions in everything, so he naturally assumed I would give up the grades I worked so hard for, and repeat the year with him. Well, in his eyes, since I had lived off his family's support, I couldn't just bite the hand that fed me, right? Luckily, I had already made up my mind to apply to Qing University. I checked the time. I needed to hurry to the arcade in the nearby mall for my part-time shift. Although the admission reward Qing University offered was enough to cover all 4 years of college, since I had chosen not to rely on Bruno anymore. The more money the better. Besides, having a job also gave me an excuse to avoid Bruno. But after a short while, I found that Bruno and his group had also come to the arcade. Elise noticed me first. Selena, you're working here? Bruno didn't give you enough allowance? I continued handling the front desk, not responding. Bruno's eyes twitched slightly when he saw this. He immediately took out his phone and transferred money to me. Selena, if you needed money, why didn't you tell me earlier? I'll take you to quit right now. I tossed down the cleaning cloth impatiently. Bruno, I'm not short of money. I simply want to experience life. Then I forced a smile on my face. Wishing our customers a pleasant time. Bruno looked annoyed, unable to tolerate my sarcastic tone. Come on, let's go have our fun. Whatever someone else wants to do is none of our business. I watched them cooperate flawlessly in all the games. These were all things I wasn't good at. Bruno liked exciting, loud games, while I only liked staying somewhere quiet, so I was never the type of girl Bruno would fall for. Taking me in. He probably only did it because he pitied me. After I came out of the restroom, a familiar figure blocked my path, leaning one arm against the wall, trapping me right in front of his chest. Selena, how long do you plan on sulking with me? Come on, tell me, what exactly made you upset this time? His serious eyes made me want to say that I didn't want to repeat the year, that I hoped he would go to Qing University with me. But then he continued, if it's because of Elise, then I need to say this. There's nothing between me and her. Aren't you being a bit too petty getting upset over her all the time? The three of us will be going to the same tutoring center, repeating the year together. And next year we'll all get into Qing University together. You really should stop being so hard on her. He talked for so long, and every sentence was about her. Her. I lowered my head and let out a breathless laugh. Just now I had still naively thought he might be willing to let go of Elise. At that moment, Elise's voice suddenly echoed beside us. Sorry. I didn't know you two were here. Why is it that whenever Bruno and I are alone, Elise always happens to show up? I pushed Bruno aside to leave. But Elise grabbed my wrist. Chapter 06. Selena. Bruno has been completely distracted because of you these past few days. Can't you stop fighting with him? We're all classmates. Do you really need to be like this? I didn't want to respond. I brushed past her shoulder and walked forward. Maybe the floor was too slippery. Elise almost fell, but Bruno caught her. Bruno. I'm fine. I'm just tired of seeing you two in conflict because of me. Why don't I go apologize to Selena? Elise's eyes immediately reddened. As she spoke, she moved as if to stand in front of me and bow, but Bruno pulled her back. What are you apologizing for? She bumped into you earlier, and besides, you didn't do anything wrong. She's the one making a fuss over nothing. Acting like she's got nothing better to do than throw tantrums at people. I clenched my jaw and left without a word. After I walked away, I heard Bruno's voice behind me. Don't worry about her. She's like this because I spoiled her. By the time my shift ended, it was already night. When I came out, I saw Bruno still standing at the entrance. He was still wearing a stern expression. But he pulled my hand and said, in a softer tone, let's go to the bar. A lot of our classmates are there. Lily too. We'll go back together afterward. I couldn't find a reason to refuse. So I let him lead me. When we arrived at the private room, I sat with Lily. I watched Elise playing dice and drinking with the guys, laughing and blending in naturally. Everyone deliberately created chances for her and Bruno to have ambiguous moments, egging them on loudly, not caring whether I felt humiliated or not. But of course, in everyone's eyes, I was basically someone Bruno's family took in. What right did I have to talk about romance with him? Seeing Elise lose more and more in the dice games, and drink 10+ glasses. One of Bruno's childhood friends theatrically said, Hey, how can you guys make Elise lose so much? Can't you show mercy? And he glanced deliberately at Bruno. We'd show mercy if Bruno agrees, right? Then Elise, clearly drunk, suddenly collapsed onto Bruno. Everyone erupted in cheers. Bruno shot a quick glance at me, then said angrily, Guys, enough. Don't go too far. In the past, I would have stormed off, and most of the time, Bruno would chase after me, smiling and coaxing me, but now, I had no reaction at all. Elise, drunk, wrapped her arm around Bruno's neck, and whispered something in his ear. I only saw Bruno's ears turn bright red, and the redness spread down his neck. Watching the two of them pressed so closely together, Elise wearing only a camisole, rubbing against him, the intimacy was unmistakable. After a while, Bruno pressed Elise's face into his chest, and covered her upper body with his jacket, shielding her from everyone's eyes. That level of tenderness, he had never shown it to me. Then he picked Elise up. She's drunk. I'll send her home first. You guys keep playing. And without giving me a single glance, he disappeared out the door. I opened a beer bottle and chugged it. But the frustration wouldn't go away, even though I had already decided to give up on him. Even though I'd lectured myself countless times, seeing them together like that still felt like someone was squeezing my heart. I set the bottle down and quietly left the room. Lily followed me and ended up venting loudly on the street with me. I watched Bruno treat you like his untouchable first love back then. How can he flip so quickly? Earlier, when she noticed my reaction, she wanted to step in and remind Bruno, but I stopped her. Forget it. He's not in my future anyway. Why ruin the night? After returning home and washing up, I lay in bed, dizzy from the alcohol. When I opened my phone, I saw our class group chat. The teacher had everyone reminding us that the university application deadline was in 3 hours. Then Bruno called. Sorry, I know I promised to walk back with you today, but Elise suddenly drank too much. There was nothing I could do. I heard you drank tonight, but since Lily walked you home, I'm relieved. Oh, and I've already submitted my name for repeating the year to the homeroom teacher. We'll attend the tutoring classes together, just like high school. Chapter 07. Maybe out of guilt toward me. Bruno's voice sounded unusually gentle this time. With his usual temper, he would give me the cold shoulder for days, and even when he finally lowered his pride first, His tone always carried arrogance. Then I would obediently take the step he left for me and forgive him. After all, when you truly care about someone, how could you ever bear to embarrass him? But this time, his rare gentleness only made me feel a strange emptiness. Why aren't you saying anything? Didn't you always say you wanted to go to Xinjiang? Let's go together in a few days, okay? I heard the golden sunrise on the mountains there is beautiful. Selena, repeating the year together isn't such a bad thing. We can spend every day together again like before. And besides, your grades are good, another year is nothing to you. But Elise isn't as strong academically. She'll have a much harder time. Actually, she's a really nice girl. You're too quiet, you should interact with her more. Otherwise, when you go to college, you'll have trouble making friends, you know? He rambled on, like someone murmuring drunkenly, so in his heart. This was how he compared Elise and me. He had said so much, yet most of it was just for Elise's sake. Afraid she'd feel lonely repeating the year alone. Afraid I wouldn't get along with her if I repeated too. I couldn't help but ask the question I had been holding back. So, have you really decided to break our promise and repeat the year with Elise? My voice choked without me noticing. I thought, if he could just be honest. Tell me his choice, even if that choice was Elise. I would bless them, and we could still remain friends. After a moment, he replied lazily, next year we'll get into Qing University together. That doesn't count as breaking the promise, right, Selena? Hearing his final answer, I forced a difficult smile. Yeah, you really know how to exploit loopholes. In the end, he chose no one, yet chose everyone, since he didn't want to decide. Then I would do it. Before he could say anything else, I excused myself, saying I was going to sleep, and hurriedly hung up. I opened the university application system one last time. Checked the university I had submitted. After confirming everything was correct, I shut the laptop. The clock had passed midnight. The application deadline was over. No more chance to regret it. Good. The path I chose. I'll walk it myself. Going to college alone might be wonderful in its own way, but when I closed my eyes, Bruno's face kept flashing in my mind, his burning gaze on rainy nights, the cautious gentleness he once showed me, and the impatience and irritation he shows now. We had known each other since middle school, growing side by side. I never imagined we would one day walk separate paths. Maybe everyone reaches a point when time forces you to learn separation, so you finally understand that no one remains for you forever. Perhaps I overthought it. I slept fitfully through the night. When I woke again, it was already noon the next day. I turned on my phone. Most of the messages were from Bruno. I ignored his and opened the one from my best friend. Go check what your Bruno did last night. Along with it, a screenshot from Weibo, Chapter 08. In the Weibo screenshot, Elise had posted a set of photos watching the sunrise at the beach. Many classmates left comments gossiping below. The school beauty is announcing her relationship. So many couples went public after the exams. And finally we get the school beauty's good news today. I knew it. Elise and Bruno should have been a couple long ago. They acted suspicious the whole school year. Look, they're wearing slippers from the nearby hotel. Seems like, well, you know. I zoomed in on the photos and saw Bruno's side profile under the soft light of sunrise. He was gazing at Elise with deep affection. For a moment, my heartbeat froze, and Elise's caption was an even more blatant declaration of possession. The morning light knows who waits for the sunrise. And I know who is accompanying me toward the future. Many people had liked and commented, and Elise's replies were all deliberately vague. Even several of Bruno's close buddies were hyping them up in the comments. A heaviness spread in my chest. So, they were already together last night, and yet he could still comfort me on one hand, while on the other hand, going on a romantic seaside date with his new girlfriend. Sadness surged through me again, but when I thought about the university application I submitted last night, I suddenly felt grateful that I hadn't changed it on impulse. Otherwise, staying by their side would have turned me into a blatant clown. I turned off my phone, forcing myself to sit on the balcony. letting the wind blow away the chaos in my mind. Suddenly, there was a knock on my door. It was Bruno. Chapter 09. There were dark circles under Bruno's eyes. His hair was messy, and he was holding a bag in his hand. I froze until he shoved the items from the bag into my hands. I specially picked these shells for you. Do you like them? I called you so many times and you didn't answer. I even wanted to ask if you wanted dessert from that shop you like. He rubbed my hair, then pulled out a cake box from behind him. But I still bought it anyway. See how good I am to you? I held the shells tightly, forcing back the tears in my eyes. Then I gathered the courage to ask, "Did you go to the beach last night?" He took out the dessert, answering me casually, "Yeah, of course." He assumed I didn't use Weibo, so he thought I didn't know about Elisa's photos. He cut the dessert into small pieces and held a spoon to my lips. "Come on, have a bite. Stop being upset, okay?" I waited in line for half an hour to buy this. It tastes best right now. Just as he was about to feed me, I turned my face away coldly. He let out a bitter laugh and tossed the spoon into the plate. "Fine. If you don't want to eat, then don't." Elise and I picked a cram school for the summer. We're going tomorrow morning. Get up early and stop working that summer job. You barely make any money. And if you stop studying for 2 months, don't cry later when you fall behind. I shook my head firmly. I'm not going to cram school. You two can go. I'm going out later. Please leave my room first. Bruno paused for a moment, then frowned. Why not? Didn't we already agree? You're doing this just to spite me? He reached out to pull me, but I dodged. Stop it, okay? I barely slept last night. I'm exhausted, and since we're all going to cram school, how can I feel at ease leaving you alone? I met his stare and said seriously, "First of all, I'm not a child. I don't need you hovering over me all the time. And second, isn't it perfect if I don't go? I won't get in the way of you and Elise." Bruno exhaled sharply. I knew he was running out of patience. "So you're still mad because of Elise? I just don't get it. Why do you girls get jealous so easily? Can't you be more generous, like Elise?" Anger surged through me. I nodded. "Exactly. Since in your heart I can't compare to Elise, go to her then. Don't come looking for me again." Bruno finally snapped. "Selena, I already gave you a way out. Don't be ungrateful. The cram school registration is done. Go if you want, don't if you don't." With that, he stormed toward the door. I had no intention of stopping him. At the doorway, he turned back with an angry face. "With that rotten temper of yours, no wonder Lily is your only friend." Chapter 10. His last sentence stabbed into my heart like an ice pick. Sure enough, the closer someone is, the better they know where to hurt you most. I threw the dessert he bought into the trash. Even the shells he picked up casually. I dumped them into the trash as well, standing on the balcony, watching the sunset disappear. I shook my head hard. I shouted at myself inside, "Selena, stop sinking into this." I opened my phone and decisively blocked Bruno's contact. Then I hurried to open the job app and found a daytime tutoring job for myself. After that, I opened my laptop and started learning video editing and other skills. I needed to keep myself busy, so I wouldn't have time to think about other people or other things. The next morning, I got up early, washed up, and prepared to go work as a tutor. While hesitating what to wear, I realized that besides my school uniform, I barely had any clothes. So I sent Lily a message. "After my part-time job tonight, want to go to the mall together?" She replied almost instantly, "Always at your service." Perfect timing, I'll show you my new look. Suddenly, a phone call came in. I subconsciously answered. "Selena, you're really something. You actually blocked me." "No nonsense, are you here yet? The teacher is about to do roll call." Bruno's tone was anxious and impatient. I replied calmly, "I told you, I'm not going. This is not the time to throw a tantrum. I already signed you up. And now you say you're not coming? I even paid the fee." I said coldly, "I never said I would go to cram school with you. You decided that yourself." "Fine. Your grades are good. Even without cram school you can score high next year. Then I won't bother with you. I could tell from his voice that he was really angry. At that moment, through the phone, I heard Elise complaining beside him. Seriously? She eats at your house, uses your family's money, and she still dares to snap at you? Chapter 11. I hung up the phone and adjusted my expression in the mirror. Who cares what others think? Just do what you believe is right. The family where I worked as a tutor was easy to get along with. The girl was in 6th grade, decent grades, obedient. So teaching her was quite relaxing. The first trial session ended early. The little girl said she liked me very much, and even brought over her good friend Domi. Domi was a round, chubby orange cat. She placed it in my arms. Sis, I like when you come. Even Domi likes you. I smiled and patted her head, feeling that such an environment was truly warm. With a full schedule today, it seemed like the filthy thoughts in my mind had been cleared away. Thinking of the shopping trip I planned with Lily tonight, I opened my phone to ask whether she was ready. Absent-mindedly, I opened Moments and saw the photos posted by Elise. A picture of Bruno sleeping on his desk, the side of his face in view. Caption: "Thank you for keeping me company." Just a simple photo. Yet it instantly dragged me into a spiral of memories. During the 3 years of being deskmates in high school, Bruno often slept like that. Whenever I was tired from studying, I liked to quietly look at his profile. So many times, I wanted to run my index finger down the bridge of his tall nose like a slide. But now, he was no longer my deskmate, and no longer my Bruno. Teacher, what's wrong? Maybe I was too lost in thought. So I didn't even notice the girl's mother had come over. I shook my head. Nothing. I cut some fruit. You must be tired after tutoring my kid for so long. Eat some to recharge. Seeing their harmonious family, I suddenly felt timid. I quickly stood up. No need. Auntie, I still have plans tonight, so I'll leave first. Auntie said, smiling. Going on a date with your boyfriend? You were just now staring at his photo. Completely dazed, I gave an awkward smile. My heart involuntarily trembled for a second. After leaving, I followed the location Lily sent and grabbed a cab. When I got out, I saw a stunning short-haired beauty with red-dyed hair grinning at me. You really do look completely different now. I didn't react for a moment, but she was gorgeous. Then she dragged me around on a full shopping spree. Along the way, she kept scolding me for my low self-esteem because I kept zoning out. He's just a man. Once you get into Qingda, there will be plenty of outstanding guys. And honestly, you never tried to dress up. If you actually put effort into it, you would kill Bruno in seconds, make him regret everything. Over the next few days, Lily took me to get a new hairstyle, made me ditch the oversized school uniform, and helped me pick several elegant heiress-style dresses. She even did my makeup herself. Under her makeover, the girl in the mirror, even I was shocked. Lily immediately grabbed her phone to take pictures, and praised me non-stop. Girl, this style is made for you. That cold, refined face paired with delicate dresses. You're basically a chic, high-class heroine from a Korean drama. I was embarrassed by all the compliments. But then, before I noticed, she had uploaded all the photos to her Moments, with such a gorgeous bestie. Of course I have to show her off. Not long after, our class group chat exploded. Selena's beauty was sealed away by her school uniform. Huh, she's stunning. From now on Selena is my wife. Kiss /heart. Seeing everyone this enthusiastic, I thought for a moment, and replied politely in the group. Yuri giving me too much credit. Lily just had good angles. Right after that, one of Elisa's girlfriends replied, Selena only looks good from the side. The group chat went silent for a moment. Lily couldn't stand it. She snapped a live front-face photo of me on the spot, and instantly sent it to the group. The group chat exploded again with even louder compliments. Even the usually strict homeroom teacher showed up. So the class monitor looks this pretty when dressed up. Everyone should learn from her excellent grades and beauty. Honestly, Selena looks great even without makeup. She just focuses on studying and rarely shows her face. Agree +1. The girl who was throwing shade earlier tried again. The hairstyle just hides her flaws. That's all. But this time, many classmates stood up for me. No need for me to respond. Before long, I received my admission notice from Qingda. Lily and I hugged each other and celebrated for a long time. A dream I worked so long for finally came true. But at that moment, Bruno called. Chapter 12. You went shopping at XX Plaza? It's getting late. I'll drive over and take you home. Before I could refuse, he had already hung up. I silently opened the ride-hailing app. But before the page even refreshed, Bruno was already standing not far in front of me. Together with him was Elise. The moment our eyes met, Bruno looked utterly stunned. Even Elise froze for several seconds. After a stiff moment of eye contact, Bruno finally snapped back to reality and walked toward me. The amazement in his eyes was hard to hide. He couldn't stop himself from blurting out, "You look pretty good with light makeup. Very natural. Just now when I saw you, I didn't even dare to believe it was you." Thanks. He pointed toward the car. "Come on, I'll drive you both back." I shook my head. "No, too many people, it's a bit stuffy, and I'm planning to meet up with Lily tonight." A visible disappointment flashed in Bruno's eyes. "So you aren't coming home tonight?" Just then, the ride Lily had called arrived. After we got in, she couldn't hold back. "I told you." When Bruno saw you just now, his eyes went completely blank. "And when he said your light makeup looked natural, I swear I saw Elise secretly rip off her ultra-thick fake eyelashes." I laughed in response and thought to myself, so Bruno's attention was that easy to capture. Then his so-called affection didn't seem so precious after all. After receiving the admission offer, the school even posted an honor board on the announcement wall. I looked at my name placed at the very top with satisfaction. First in the entire school. 18th in the province. Admitted to Qingda. My homeroom teacher spotted me from afar and walked over. "Selena, congratulations on getting into Qingda." I smiled and thanked him. "But why didn't Bruno come with you today?" His score was actually pretty high. Even if he wouldn't get his first choice at Qingda, repeating a year is still a good option. He'll definitely get into the same school as you next year. This kid is really devoted. In all my years of teaching, it's the first time I've seen a student repeat a year for a girl he likes. Yes, truly devoted indeed. But not for me. Chapter 13. The day before Qingda University started, Bruno suddenly called me. It was the first time he'd reached out since he started the prep program. The program was residential, so he hadn't come back for an entire month. I would occasionally see Elise's posts showing their daily life at the prep school, photos of them reviewing vocabulary together on the playground at dusk, or walking back to the dorms side by side after evening self-study. If this had been the past, I would have hidden under my blanket at night, overthinking and doubting myself. But now, with university about to begin, I suddenly realized that those people who once wounded me were already part of my past. "Let's go to Xinjiang the day after tomorrow." I already called my buddies, and Elise, and you. I bought all the flight tickets and hotel rooms. You and I will stay in a suite. We can go see the sunrise over the Golden Mountains. Didn't you say you wanted to make a wish facing the mountains? Elise also said she's been stressed from studying and wants to relax a bit. I laughed coldly in my heart. So after all that, it was because Elise wanted to go. Once again, without asking my opinion, he arranged everything on his own. "I'm not going." "Why? Didn't you used to talk non-stop about wanting to go to Xinjiang?" "Yes, I did. But he didn't ask me right after the college entrance exam. He only asked now, when Elise wanted a break. I don't want anyone's leftover kindness. Any affection given only because of someone else. I just don't want to go anymore." My cold tone made him fall silent for several seconds. I knew he was restraining himself. Then Bruno finally spoke, voice heavy. "Selena, what is wrong with you? I signed you up for the prep program. You didn't go. You insisted on doing part-time work. Now I'm trying to take you to Xinjiang, and you still won't go. This time you owe me a proper explanation." "Fine. You want a reason?" "My reason is that I don't want to go with you all." My tone was no better than his. "Great, Selena. I never realized your temper was this big. If you don't go, then I'll stay in the suite with Elise. Let's see if you cry about it later. Whatever. I casually brushed him off and hung up. Not long later, another message came in. All right. My tone wasn't good earlier. How could I possibly stay with her? I'll wait for you at the airport the day after tomorrow. Chapter 14. I rolled my eyes, deleted the message, and blocked the number again. Before leaving, I visited the cemetery to pay respects to my parents. Then I spent one night at home, and the next day at noon, I boarded the plane to Tsinghua University alone. On the plane, I thought for a moment, and decided to message Bruno's parents, telling them I was heading to Tsinghua. These past years, his uncle and aunt had truly treated me well, even better than they treated Bruno sometimes. I had no reason to leave without telling them. Auntie was delighted when she heard the news, congratulated me, and reminded Bruno to take good care of me at school. She didn't mention anything else. I replied politely, but said nothing about him repeating a year. His choices, he could explain them himself. Turns out, going to university alone wasn't scary at all. After landing, upperclassmen from Tsinghua had organized welcome groups. Several enthusiastic seniors led me to my dorm. Most of the girls in the dorm were from the north, warm, straightforward, lively. They even took me out that night to try local northern specialties. I originally thought, having grown up in the south, that I wouldn't be able to get used to northern life. But with my roommates around, everything felt fresh and exciting instead. Chapter 15. They even taught me some local dialect. And on the first night, we all lay in our beds talking until dawn. Once the conversation started flowing, our relationship instantly grew closer. I adapted to university life incredibly fast. On my way to the freshman assembly the next day, 2 boys even asked for my WeChat. Suddenly, Bruno called me again. Selena, when are you getting to the airport? We're all waiting for you. Hearing his voice made me feel a bit dazed. Everything between us felt like it belonged to a previous lifetime. I said bluntly, I'm at Tsingda's freshman assembly. I don't have time. The other end went silent for several seconds. What? Selena, you're at Tsingda? What kind of joke is that? Bruno let out a disbelieving laugh. I'm telling you, that joke isn't funny at all. Where are you right now? The plane doesn't take off for a while. If you can't get here, I'll come pick you up. I couldn't hold back anymore, and repeated exactly what I just said. Then, from his side, I heard someone gasp. Look at the honor roll on our high school's official page. Selena really got into Tsingda. At the same moment, the principal on stage at the assembly was giving an impassioned speech. It is an honor to welcome all of you to Tsingda. The voice booming through the speakers finally snapped Bruno into reality. When he spoke again, his voice trembled uncontrollably. Why you really went to Tsingda? How is that possible? Didn't we agree to repeat the year together? Why would you submit your college preference? And Tsingda is so far up north. How could you dare to go alone? I sighed. I never once clearly said that I would repeat the year with you. Besides, the reason you decided to repeat was because of Elise. If I tagged along with you too, wouldn't that make me the awkward one? But I talked to you so many times about what we'd do after repeating the year. You never once objected. You clearly knew about it. How could you suddenly go to Tsingda? You're not doing this because of Elise, are you? She really was devastated. She cried saying she didn't do well on the exam, and was afraid to repeat all by herself. She said she might fall into depression. You went through depression once. Because of your uncle and aunt's situation, you know how scary that can be. She's not like us. She doesn't have good grades. She doesn't have other options. Bruno rambled on frantically, but I barely reacted. All I heard were countless mentions of her. Even now, he was still looking at everything from Elisa's perspective, never once considering how I felt. Elisa's scores were average. Even for art programs she was dozens of points short. So she wanted to repeat the year. She wanted someone to accompany her. But why should I gamble my future, just to fulfill her wishes? I had no obligation to think about her. I only needed to think about myself. Bruno, Since you care about her so much. And you've already stayed to repeat the year with her. What more do you want? I'm sure Elise wouldn't be thrilled to have me repeat the year too, and hover around you all the time. From now on, we're just regular friends. Please stop interfering with my life. Right after that, all I heard was a burst of chaotic noise. I hung up. I thought that was the final goodbye. After all, we were now worlds apart, separated by thousands of miles, and countless arguments. But the next night, Bruno actually showed up right in front of me. Chapter 16. At that moment, I wasn't alone. Standing beside me was a male classmate holding a stack of documents just like I was. He was tall, with sharp, defined features, the type of guy you'd call handsome at first glance. We had been assigned to the same lab group, and we were about to go to the cafeteria for dinner. But as we were chatting and laughing, we suddenly saw Bruno standing not far ahead, looking desolate. His shadow stretched long under the street lamp. He must have rushed over, because his face looked exhausted, but dressed in a crisp casual outfit with a baseball cap. He still looked clean and fresh, still the sunny campus heartthrob he used to be at No. 1 high school. A backpack hung from his shoulder, as if he had just hurried over from somewhere, even though I had already let go. Seeing him again still made my heart waver for a second. His eyes locked onto me as he walked over. I have something I want to tell you alone. Is that okay? After speaking, his Adam's apple bobbed. He was nervously waiting for my answer. The boy beside me asked, "Do you need my help with anything?" I sighed. "Sorry, I can't have dinner with you anymore. And could you help me bring these documents to the lab group tomorrow?" "No problem. Call me if you need anything." After he left, only Bruno and I remained. Since he had chased all the way from so far, he wouldn't leave unless he said what he came to say. But I didn't expect his first sentence to be, "You just started university. Be careful of boys who suddenly treat you too well." I let out a cold laugh. "That's what you came to tell me? What does that have to do with you? Making friends or dating in college is perfectly normal, okay?" Bruno choked for a second. Then his tone softened. "Selena, I don't know why you didn't stay and repeat the year with me. I was too overconfident. I apologize. I thought, no matter what decision I made, you would follow me." I cut him off. "I never agreed to repeat the year with you, and you were the one who broke our promise to go to Qingda together. But before, no matter what I did, you always silently followed me. I told you so many times about my plan to repeat. Why would you hide the fact that you applied to Qingda?" Bruno grew emotional, gripping my arm tightly. "You repeated the year because of Elise. Am I supposed to gamble my entire future just to accommodate you too?" I stared back and threw the question at him. "No, I was just too confident in our relationship. I thought that even if we repeated for one more year, it wouldn't change anything. In the end, we'd still be together. Did you forget? After your parents passed away, I told you I'd give you a home. You said yes. I even planned for us to get married after college." Bruno's voice choked. I shook off his hand. "But you never truly cared about how I felt. It was only when I realized you chose to repeat for Elise that I understood. You never really knew me. Maybe you thought I agreed to the Qingda promise just because you once said you wanted to apply there. But the truth is, even without you, I would have applied to Qingda, because it was my parents' alma mater. They devoted their lives to the aerospace field. From the moment they were gone, I quietly made a promise to myself. I would get into Qingda's aerospace major, to continue the dream they never finished." Bruno froze. "But, you never told me any of this." I smiled faintly. Back then, I naively believed he was the one who understood me best. He understood my hardships, my struggles, so he reached out a helping hand. But now, maybe back then, he pitied me the same way he now pities Elise, a girl who had just lost her parents. Finally, I told him many things, perhaps giving both of us an explanation for our youth. "Bruno, you know, I only now realize that what I felt for you was never love, just gratitude. Gratitude for the warmth you gave me when I was at my lowest." Bruno's eyes reddened, his lips trembling for a long time before he spoke. "Was it really, just gratitude? Chapter 17. Later, my dorm mates told me that the boy who had come looking for me stood outside in the rain for an entire night and only left when daylight broke, just when I thought the story between Bruno and me was finally closing. His mother called me. I'm really sorry, dear. This past year, your uncle and I have been busy with the company's listing. And we truly neglected you too. I didn't expect Bruno would choose to repeat the year. While you went to Qingda, that brat must have done something wrong to make you sad. I originally thought she called to persuade me to reconcile with Bruno. But instead, don't worry. Your uncle already beat him up. Right now he can't even get out of bed. Auntie, actually, we don't have any real conflict. We just made different choices. I explained, wanting to draw a clear boundary between Bruno and me. Auntie understands. Your choice was right. I just hope you won't distance yourself from Uncle and me because of Bruno. At that moment, I heard unmistakable sobbing on the other end. There's something I never had the chance to tell you. Your mom and I grew up together. We were childhood best friends. The night your parents had their accident, I wanted to bring you home and raise you myself. I just didn't expect Bruno would act faster than us. Hearing this, memories of my parents flooded back, and tears streamed down uncontrollably. So she treated me well, not because Bruno liked me, but because of my parents. After finally learning the truth, I felt a weight lifted off my chest. A burden I'd carried for years suddenly vanished. Auntie, thank you. Silly child, you must take good care of yourself at university. If you have any difficulties, just tell Auntie, and don't forget to come home during holidays to visit Uncle and me. I nodded, crying. I never thought I could still have a home. After that, I focused on my studies at Qingda. From chatting with Auntie, I learned that during Bruno's repeat year, he became noticeably quieter, as if holding something heavy inside. One time when she brought fruit to his room, she saw the Qingda admissions brochure taped on his desk. The following summer, I received a message I hadn't seen in a long time. Selena, I got into Qingda. I hesitated for a moment, but replied, congratulations, but I'm going abroad next semester as an exchange student, so I won't be able to welcome you. After that, he never responded. From then on, my life truly opened to a brand new chapter. Whenever I occasionally recall those fragments of youth, I simply lower my head and smile. Ahead of me, I still have a vast sky waiting for me to explore.